Welcome to my broadcast. My name is Kenny Brown. Hold up, I have something I'm going by here. Okay, here we go. Like I said, my name is Kenneth Brown. I go by Kenny or Chuck. My middle name is Michael, but I don't go by no Michael or no Mike. I just go by Kenny or Kenneth. Don't call me Barbie's boyfriend. Just play. I just had to crack a little joke in here. So, a little bit more about me. Like I said, my name is Kenny Brown. I am 30 years old. April 1st, 1988. It's my birthday. I grew up for 15 years in Northwest New Jersey. All I know is I have parts of Native American in my blood. I have Lenni Lenape on one side, and the other side is said to be Iroquois. That's my mom's side. And Cherokee a little bit. Iroquois sounds more accurate. And so does Lenni Lenape on my father's side. So anyway, let me get into a little bit more about this blog here. And the reason for this blog. And about me. Okay, so, like I said, I left off where I said I'm from North Jersey. And I've been part of spiritual called the Wolf Pack for about since 2002 March. Ever since me and my brother and my best buddy, who I met in 2001, with our love for the video game Mortal Kombat. In the the movie Mortal Kombat. So we fell in love with that. We became friends over that movie and that video game Mortal Kombat. So anyway, about the Wolf Pack. We started up that 2002, back when we were starting up clubs and shit for our friends and stuff, and my siblings. So we did this. We started up the Wolf Pack as my buddy and I and my brother were walking down the street of Mountain Lake, New Jersey. The one guy said, his name is Bob Page, by the way, Robert Page, In other words, Grimsick from the Twin Devil Boys. I'm only one other half of the Twin Devil Boys. So let me continue on. The reason why we started up the Wolf Pack was because Bob said to us, me and my brother Chris, he said to us, why don't we start up a club where we dedicate our lives to this wolf spirit, and because wolves are cool, they can run, they can get away from situations. They're pack members, and they run in packs like what we want to start. So what do you guys say? And me and my brother were in right away. And I had that feeling rush through me. I said, I really like this idea. Let's do it. So my brother said, let's do it too. And we became the Wolf Pack, where our spirituality would be towards this wolf spirit. And we would get together on every full moon, say a few words to the spirit of the wolf and God, and we would be on our way, party up that night. We would howl like wolves. In fact, now that I went into a little bit of that, I moved out of New Jersey when I was 15. I'm 30 now. Like I said, April 1st, I just turned 30. And so when I was 15, we moved out of there into northeast Pennsylvania. So when we did that, we've kind of forgot about the wolf pack over the years, but we kept it. But then once we remembered it, we kept it back together. We actually never forgot about it. We said it. No matter how many times we thought we forgot about it, we never did. So the wolf pack, I guess, is still a wolf pack, but it's also part of a more universal pack, I suppose, like some kind of, I don't know, but there's a lot of spiritual people who are part of this group, much more universal wolf pack than ours. So we learned over the years, once I had met a good friend of mine, Rachel Paul, I learned that we were part of a more universal wolf pack. So, like I said, I've lived in Pennsylvania for the past 15 years of my life. For the past 8 years, I've lived here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And before that, I lived in the Poconos, the 570. Very spiritual part of my life exists out there. So, let me get more into this blog. And the reason for this blog is to inform you all about what happened during my out-of-body experience. And how it happened was I was off my medication called Abilify for depression. I was off of that for 5 months. And it finally kicked all the way out. And then the depression kicked in, the stress kicked in, all that came piling all in at once on March 2nd, 2016. And so what happened after that was, it was my nephew's birthday. His birthday, he turned 2 on March 2nd, 2016. He's 4 now. So pretty much what I've got to say here is, I fell asleep when I went upstairs to get his present. Since I'm a rapper, I rapped to him for his birthday. Then I completely fell out of touch with reality. So I went to go fall asleep. And I know I must have left something behind during that out-of-body experience, because I was not in the right state of mind at the time. But when I fell asleep, the process began. That was when I started rubbing my eyes. And that's when he appeared. Just out of all the static and all that stuff I've seen, it formed into a bunch of stars. So no doubt I was astrally in travel, or in some kind of temple between me and a deer guide or god of some sort. So many antlers though. And I began to ask what his antlers were before I could even ask. He knew what I was going to ask. So he said, my antlers are my wisdom and knowledge. And I was like, oh. And the thing is, he said he was my god since before birth. And he was going into explanation about it, how he had been there years prior to my birth. So that must have meant that I might have had this God for a long time in my life. And I've heard from the Bible, there's a verse that says, he makes my feet like the feet of a deer. And I think that would have to be Psalm 18, verse 33. Let me check. It says here, let me see if I was right. And it's only a matter of time before I open up this page and let you know if I was right about what I said. Okay. What I said was true. It'll say it in the Psalms. Okay. Gotta find the Psalms. Here we go. We open up the Psalms. And and it was said that it did say that in the Bible, so he makes my feet like the feet of a deer. There we go. There we have it. So, and people have called God or Jesus the great white stag before. Now I can see why. So anyway, it was before that when Jesus had been showing up on my visions. Not to mention, I've been seeing visions for 10 years. And also, since I've been hearing voices for several to 10 years now, I've been hearing voices, and those have been cut out. Those have been cut out altogether, as they put me in a vilify because I was hearing them. But you know what's always going to be there? Let me explain to you this. My visions will always be there as long as I'm alive. And I don't believe it's from nothing. I don't believe it's from my head, because these messages just show up on my eyesight just any time of the day. They just show up any time of the day. Like I said, let me continue with this. He said he was my God before birth. That means I was under the guidance of a God with antlers this whole entire time. A guide, or a God, whichever you figure is the answer. Go figure it out yourself. Do a little bit of research. I'm trying to look up what I need to find about it. There's a lot said about the deer guide. But to go into this further, we're already 13 minutes into this thing. We haven't really gotten anywhere. So he told me to move my eyes to the left while they were closed. So I did. Moved my eye like this. And before me, when I moved my eyes that way, was a female deer. It was a doe. Apparently, I had taken form of a deer in the astrals, an out-of-body experience. During this out-of-body experience, I had taken form of a deer. I don't know how many antlers I had, but the one next to me had no antlers, so I could tell she was a female. So it was just like he said to me, and I said, "Who is that?" And then that's when he told me, when we find one another, never stop loving each other unconditionally. And the very last thing he said before I woke up, let me get into this. I had to have been asleep from a good 6 p.m. when the sun was just going down. The sun was hitting the trees. And like I said, this had to have been around 5:30 p.m. that I fell asleep, and this began happening to me. So, and I was feeling his energy that whole day. So, I was in that trance for more than 8 hours. And during that whole entire over 8 hours, he was telling me at the end, it'll take up to a few years for us to find each other, but we will. She'll find me first. I won't find her. She'll find me. And when I woke up, the funny thing is, about 4 or 5 days before that, nah, yeah, about 5 days before that, we had a thunderstorm in the Poconos. It knocked down trees and power lines and all that shit. And it was right in the middle of February, in the middle of winter. So then, after that out-of-body experience, I woke up and it was snowing. How could the weather have gone from raining and thunderstorming one day to the 5 days later that it started snowing? How could that happen? But I woke up to it, and that's what happened. I will get into this a little bit more later, but questions, comments, just let me know. Messages, any kind of bit like that, just let me know. They're right here. I'm right here to answer anytime. And now, I guess, after going through this video blog here, I feel a whole lot better. I hope I can meet people that have had, and especially if you've had the same experience, if you happen to have dealt with the deer-like god with antlers in the past, if you ever have dealt with a deer-like guide, an antlered guide, a guide with antlers, like a deer, like a white-tailed deer, a stag, rather, you let me know, because I need to find the one who was in that same out-of-body experience, in the same astral temple that we were in. Now, like I said, I was in my grandmother's attic when this happened. Out-of-body experience. Never happened once in my life prior to this. Well, maybe it has, but only before this life. That's all I'm going to leave you with. To leave you to think. Peace. How do I end this here? Cool. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my broadcast. Comment below. Like, dislike. Doesn't matter. Show feedback as long as you will. Please do. Thank you. Bye-bye.